you're new here, I'm Lily and I live in Suffolk in the UK, and I make my videos from my little sewing space, which is my camper van. And I sew in here and I record in here. Sometimes I'm in my drive, sometimes I'm out and about sewing and recording, so I work as well, so it depends how busy I am with other things, how often I'm out and about in the van, but I'm always in the van. I love it in here, it's so relaxing and it gets my creative juices going. I don't know where to start because I've got so much to share with you this time. I've got lots of little things, but I've also got some fabric for some bigger things coming up. So my No Plan 2026 has just created a avalanche of little ideas that are bursting out of me now. So my glitter brain, the glitter's coming out, and lots of little ideas and big ideas too. So, and I have been doing them all. Sometimes I have ideas and I don't do them, but so far I have been making all the ideas, so that is good. I think I'm going to start with a Sashiko because I was working on that last time, my last episode. I then started it and I said how much I enjoyed it, which I did, and there were so many good things about it. It was really quick, which sometimes I'm trying to slow down, but also sometimes I just want to make something and it's finished quite quickly and I can admire my work, and I'm sure you're the same. And yes, we can see mistakes and everything we make's not perfect, but that doesn't matter, does it? It's just sometimes it's nice to just finish something fairly quickly and just look at it and think, oh, I'd have that proud feeling of I made that myself. So that's what happened with these, and I have finished. I enjoyed making the first one so much that I made two. Now I'm not sure if I decided in the last episode what I was even going to make with it. Probably not, knowing me, because if you've been watching me for a while, you know I don't follow patterns, and sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to be making when I start. I just start and then it happens to turn into something, luckily. Halfway through I think, oh yeah, I think I'm going to make that, and then it turns into that thing. Like magic, it turns into that thing at the end. Normally, sometimes it goes wrong, but I'm open and honest and I do tell you when it goes wrong. Oh, before I show you that, I had a question about this quilt. So if you don't know and you haven't seen it before, it is a potato chip block. I made 4 potato chip blocks and then I put them together, and I would like to make another quilt with potato chip blocks because actually I didn't enjoy the cutting out, I must admit. I don't like cutting out in general, but once I'd cut them all out it was quite nice to put it together and play with the fabrics and get the effect. And it's brilliant for any sort of scrap fabric or small pieces of fabric you have left behind from other projects. It's really good for that. So I would recommend a potato chip block, which I did end up calling it my chip shop quilt because I kept forgetting the potato bit at the front. So it's my chip shop quilt, and I used a tilde fabric for this. So I have got more quilt plans, which is one of the things I'm going to show you later, the fabric I've got for a quilt. But at the moment I'm still on the small, quick, let's get out of January and February type of projects, which I'm enjoying this time of year. The first one is finished, and I'm going to talk about the stitching and the threads I used as well. So this is the first finished. I'm so proud of this, it just looks really nice. It's really, I've never made anything in blue before. I don't know whether it's the colours or what it is about it, but I've got the blue nails to match. Treated myself to some new blue nail varnish. So I haven't got them in. I showed you last time, but I don't think I've got them in the van actually. I purchased the little plastic sheets, and you can just trace the shape and then you just go over the stitches. So it's really straightforward. Anyone could do it, and you're just using a running stitch. And I probably didn't follow all the Sashiko's rules particularly. I just kind of was should we say inspired by Sashiko. So maybe if someone watched it and they knew all about it, it wouldn't be exactly how they would work the Sashiko themselves traditionally, but I've got the effect with the stitches. And this was proper Sashiko thread, but a lovely lady on Instagram shared something she'd made using Sashiko, and her white looked really bright and vibrant, and mine, is that the word vibrant? It doesn't sound right. Hers looked really bright anyway, and she made a bag which was absolutely beautiful. And it gave me the idea of using a different thread, because actually I wanted mine to look a bit more vibrant, and it might be because it was on a darker denim, because this is just a chambray, where hers was on jeans fabric, so it was a bit darker to begin with, so maybe it was that, I don't know. But anyway, I thought I would try my second one with just a normal embroidery thread. It was one strand, and I'd got it from Hobbycraft. It's like just what, it wasn't the threads where you split them into 6, it was just one. I forgot them, I don't think I've got them in here. No, but it was just one thick thread. And so this is the second one I made. So the flower, I wasn't quite sure how to stitch those bits because of the lines. It was quite hard to go round and do the lines to make it look neat, but I think it turned out okay in the end. And this is the back. I used the same on the back of each. So I've got 2 near enough the same. The seagulls like to say hello to you. Sound like they're having a bit of a laugh, don't they? Perhaps they're probably having a moan about the weather as well, do you think? And then they're just saying, we want some sunshine. What I've used in the centre of these for wadding is a heat resistant wadding, which you can buy. I think it's just if you Google heat resistant wadding, it should come up, and it feels a bit crunchy. It's got a bit of a sound to it, and I bought it because I made some oven gloves ages ago which were rubbish. I didn't even use them, they weren't very good at all. So I had some left over, so I thought these would be nice in my kitchen. I could use them in the van as well, but the colour's more going in my kitchen indoors, just to put pots on, or just, you know, just to put like hot things on, or I can put my teapot on, or that kind of thing. So that was the idea, and they have got little teapots on the fabric. Now I used the little charm packs, mini charm packs they're called, so you get all squares, all the same size, and all the colours blend. This one was called Larking by Moda Fabrics, and I loved it because it has beachcombing. It had a beachcombing theme, and sometimes I'm really lucky and I do find pieces of sea pottery, broken plates and things that have ended up in the sea somehow, and they're all smooth and they just wash up on the shoreline, which is the most exciting thing ever in my life when I find a piece of that on the sea, on the shoreline, on the beach. And that was the theme for this fabric. And I love this blue. I've never worked with blue before. I don't ever use blue fabrics. But I'm kind of theming my kitchen as a bit kind of bluey. So I thought, well, they look nice in there. And then I thought I'm going to get the bigger ones. So I'll show you later because I've got some more fabric to show you. But I've got the bigger squares, the charm pack. I get 42 in there, but I've got the normal sized charm pack rather than the minis. And I'm going to make a quilt with that. But as I said, I'll discuss that towards the end because that's a different thing that I'm going to be talking about. But they're the same, the fabrics are the same as these blue. So if you fancy doing any Sashiko, just an idea, this is really simple how I made it. I literally just stitched this and then cut this square around the outside, and then the actual Sashiko, you can do it any size, and then I sewed 3 of these together, stitched them on along here, 3 of those together and stitched them along there. It didn't quite work out this way, so what I did was I just put half. So if you're making something with squares and you're stitching all the squares together and it doesn't work out exactly because, like me, you haven't planned it, you just make it up as you go along, I just added a little bit, same size, just cut them in half, and that actually was the perfect size. So you can just use and add a little bit, and to be honest, to me it just looks like it's part of the design anyway. It's supposed to be like that. It looks planned, doesn't it? I think so anyway. So you can see I've used those on both of those corners. So anyway, I am so happy. I think the colours are lovely, and I really enjoyed doing the Sashiko. It was really enjoyable seeing that come out, and the design, and it's just really different, isn't it? And I'm so much enjoying embroidery and hand sewing at the moment. So they were super fun to make, and normally sometimes I make one thing and then I think, oh, that was fun, and then I'm on to the next thing. The fact I made 2, you can tell how much I actually enjoyed making it. So they are going to go in my kitchen. Now I've shown you, because I've been keeping them because I didn't want to get some sort of soup spilt on them or something, and I had to show them to you with all stains on. That wouldn't be very good, would it? So let's put them carefully over there. And I haven't stopped doing Sashiko, but what I would say is you can do it all properly if you want to, but if you've just got some white thread, something to trace, and It doesn't have to be blue. I like the look of the blue. Any colour, stitch it on, and you're kind of getting the idea of it and the therapeutic benefits of it. And it's okay to do things a little bit differently, because sometimes I do think, especially because it's a traditional thing, you do kind of think, oh, maybe I should do it exactly how it would have been done traditionally, which is absolutely fine if you want to do that. On the other hand, we're just playing. It's just playing sounds a bit childlike, but you know what I mean. You're just experimenting and being playful with the fabric, and it's fine to just stitch how you want to. So don't be, and you might not be anyway, but don't be pressurized by the rules. I would say we don't go with rules on this channel, which sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, but normally it works.
I laid the wadding on the wrong side of my square, leaving a small gap to make stitching and turning the mat the right side around easier. I added the backing fabric onto top, right sides together, stitched all the way around the outside, leaving a small gap to turn.
Another project I've been working on is some embroidery. Now I've bought a couple of new books which I would like to share with you because I think they are amazing. So this one is the one I've been doing an embroidery from. Now if you are a beginner embroidery, I think beginner to embroidery, this is fantastic. And you may or may not know, I do love a template, and I know I am trying to draw my own, which I am doing, but this has got templates in which are really lovely. So you've got lots of different floral designs, that all fit in a hoop. Show you a few, and there's some on the, I'll show you the back as well. The lady who wrote this book does sell kits as well. I think you can get kits, but in the back, which is why I purchased it, they have got templates. Now I don't know if you can, because they're quite pale, so I don't know if you can use them more than once. I know a lot of them you can use more than once, but I'm not sure if these you can. But you can also, you can use them in a hoop like that and just do the whole design, or you could just cut little pieces out. So if you want to just use the design and cut bits and pieces out as well. So I have started one from this book. She gives you how to do them as in a little chart, and it'll say the colour and then like back stitch, French knot or whatever, but you can do them however you want. You don't have to follow her instructions. So there are instructions, because you've just got the outline, you can do it how you want. A lot of her, like the one on the front, are quite basic. They're just kind of the outline a lot of the time. So as I said, I think it's a good for beginners. And actually I'll show you the one I'm making from there, which is in this butterfly. This is another English paper piece project I made. So I made a butterfly shape and I made it into a bag. And this fabric I'd had for years, probably about 12 years or something. I'd never used it, and suddenly it looked perfect on this bag. So, and I love this little bit of stuff, little bit of fabric hanging. I don't know why, but I really like that.
Editing Lily here. In true Lily rushing to talk style, I didn't really show you the books or the front of the books properly, so I'm showing them to you now so you can see the authors and the front of the books.
This fabric's a bit creasy because I got this linen from a charity shop. Actually, it was quite, I can't remember the make, but I googled it and it would have been quite expensive. Linen is quite expensive, isn't it? I think. Not linen, embroidery linen. So I gave it a wash and I hand washed it. So I kind of scrunched it and then hung it on the line, so it's really crinkly even though I've ironed it. But I will show you. Oh, I don't know if I can put something behind it. Let's put the book behind it. So the template was from that book that I just showed you, and I've been just practicing on this. I did French knots here for the blackberries, and then I just did a few, and I've done a different leaf pattern. So it's quite a good way to experiment with different stitches and just it still looks nice. I think whatever you do, you could just go around the outlines if you wanted to, but I'm going to try and do a bit more filling in and get a bit better at that kind of thing. So that's what I was doing, and I love the colour of that blackberry and those little, whoops, dropping the book now. I love the colour of the blackberries there, and they're the little buds. And yes, you can do whatever you want. You haven't got to follow anything if you don't want to, but if you're not confident about drawing or the outline, I think this book is fantastic for that. So I would recommend that, and it wasn't very expensive either. So I'll pop that on there with the embroidery. So I don't know when this will be finished. I'm just kind of working it and picking it up when I'm in the mood. And these are the colours that I'm using, are just in there. So I'll just show you there, the sort of colours. So if I'm working on a project, what I do is just look through all my colours, and you can just choose which ones you fancy using, which ones you like, which ones are going to cheer you up, or just which ones that you kind of feel would go with the design, and just get a selection together. Because I think sometimes you might feel a bit overwhelmed if you've got a lot of threads and you're doing a design, or just doing embroidery yourself from a template that someone else has done, and you want to use your own colours. It might be a bit overwhelming if you just think, right, now I'm going to grab this one and then that one, and you're not sure how they go together. So have a little play with your threads to begin with, and then set out a selection, like a few different colour greens and then some florals, and you can match up the colours to the type of flower that you're doing if you want to, but you don't have to. You can just, and it'll look like a different flower. It doesn't matter too much. So no rules. We're going with the no rules today. So, and I'll just show you that bag again because I'd kind of forgotten about it, and I've got it out again and realise it's quite nice. Quite a nice bag. When I've been doing the English paper piecing, I hadn't done it for ages, and I hadn't enjoyed it. I did go through a stage of loving it, and now I thought, oh, I'm not enjoying it as much as the other stuff. But I think I go through phases, and I'll probably try it another day, and then I will enjoy it. This is jasmine tea, and there's a shop in Norwich, which is my local city, a Korean shop. So I went in there and I got some of their jasmine tea, and it's really, really nice. But I like it cold as well, but this doesn't taste nice cold. I like tea cold, like when you don't have milk in it, just like a fruit tea or a herbal tea. I do quite like them when they've cooled down, but I don't like this. It's a bit bitter, I think, but it's really nice hot. One of my favourite craft sewing authors has written another book, Tilly Rose, and this one is called Woodland Walks, and I think it's a series. The book where I've made, I'll show you this. I'm sure you've seen it lots of times before, but if you're new, you haven't. So this is where I got the templates to make this from, which was the first book in the series, and this is the second one. And it's Woodland Walks, which is my kind of style. I love woodland things and woods, and just it's quite magic. I think the woods are quite magical. I love the beach and the sea as well, but I also love the woods. So what I love about Tilly's books is she kind of gives you the start, but she doesn't give you all, if you know what I mean. So you've got the start and the inspiration, and then you can make it your own. So I love that. And there are instructions in her as well, but she definitely encourages you to kind of do your own thing with it, which is what I like. And I think sometimes you just need a few ideas, don't you? But again, it's got templates in the back, and there's a few different ones this time. Like she's got some smaller ones. I love those. They're really pretty, and lots of like ferny kind of things, and with some blackberries there. And I love the mushrooms. There's definitely a few different designs to last. There's some leaves. They look a bit like snowdrops. And there's robins and hedgehogs. And I think with her, she has used some paint with her hedgehogs and robins. So I don't know whether I'll be able to do that. There's a couple of wreaths in there, a Christmas wreath. So lovely templates in the back, which I presume that you know, but I will just say quickly, you just iron them onto your fabric, and you can iron them onto any fabric. It hasn't got to be the embroidery linen, which I showed you earlier. You could do it on just quilter's cotton. If you've only got quilter's cotton, you can do that. If it's a bit see-through, you could use 2 layers of the quilter's cotton if you want to. And I'll show you a couple of pictures from inside. There's lots of examples of things that you can make, just lots of ideas. And it's just a really lovely book. A lot of her designs, she'll do a lot of stitches on one project. She's used lots of different things on there. I'll show you the back as well. I think it's nice to see the back because you don't always see the back. I did pre-order this off Amazon. I got both the books off Amazon, but this one I did pre-order it. It's quite new. It's a gorgeous quilt. So if you're really into slow stitching, I think this is a really good book as well, because if you like slow stitching and you want a bit more design, a bit more things on it rather than just I know a lot of slow stitching can be just stitching the fabric together, can't it, in squares or little shapes, whatever, which is fine. But if you want to go, maybe go a bit further than that and put some different designs on, I mean, even like something like the robin, Tilly, I'll show you Tilly's robin, which is beautiful. I can find it. Oh, I've got the hedgehog. So she's done a lot of work on the hedgehog, and I think she used maybe a little bit of paint behind that, which is something I'd definitely like to try, a little fabric paint. Try and find the robin. There we go. There's the robin, which is beautiful. If you didn't feel like you thought that was a bit complicated, which actually I'm not sure whether I would be able to do it and make it look as good as hers either, to be honest, you could just do the outline. You don't have to go to town on it if you just want to have a little practice, or you could just cut out the shape in fabric and do like an applique. But I think it's nice to have the shapes to begin with, or just a little bit of a inspiration, a little of ideas. But her books always kind of, I say inspirational, they just put me in the mood for making something. Trying to find the robin now. There we go. So it would look really nice. You could just go around the outside if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to go and do so much on it if you didn't feel confident. Or you could, good to have a little practice. And I know, because I've had her books before, you can use these over and over again. You can cut them out, iron them on the fabric, and then you've still got enough of the print on there to then iron them and do them a few times. So if you want to start off doing a basic robin and then just the outline, and then, or you wanted to paint one, and when I say paint, I mean paint on the fabric, because that is a thing, painting on fabric. I have looked into it a little bit, and I definitely think it's something I'm going to try at some point. I've got a couple of ideas for kind of beachy themed, sort of slow stitched embroidery, but with painting and that kind of thing in my head. One of my ideas I haven't started yet. I've started an English paper piece project, and I will show you that now, and I'm hoping, it's over there, I'm hoping that will be finished in 2 weeks' time when I speak to you next, hopefully. But this is how far I've got. Oops. Got my blue basket. I've got this shell. Someone gave me this. It's got a little, it's all been painted gold around the outside, and then it's got a little piece of Liberty Lawn. But I thought I'll tie that on there. It looks pretty on there, doesn't it? So we'll pop that down there, because it's got something else to do. I've got so much this week. I've been so busy. I've been fighting against the horrible weather by keeping... I suppose I haven't been doing other things that I'd normally be doing. I haven't been out on so many walks, although we are going on a walk today, so I'll show you some footage from that. But it will be dreary. It won't be it won't be a fun walk. It won't be sunny and the sun coming up on the sea and everything, and there's none of that for the next few weeks probably, because the weather's so bad. And we've got a week off work. I've got one more week at work, and then I've got a week off in February. Neil and my birthdays are both mid-February, so we normally have a week off together to kind of celebrate, and we've got lots planned, but it's supposed to rain and be dreary all week. But I don't mind, because I won't be at work, so that's not quite so bad if I haven't got to go to work. It's worse when it's work and then you've got your day off, and then it's raining on your day off and everything. So it's still nice to have a little break from work, so I don't mind the weather too much. I say that now when I want to go for a walk and it's raining, and I might be a bit sad. Right, this is on a tray. I've been using another mini charm pack here, and they fitted perfectly with these 1 inch, all going to fall down, with these 1 inch hexagons. So you can see how far I've got. It's all going to fall everywhere. Come on. So I'll show it to you like that, because I've got them all laid out, so I stitched them in the right order. There's another row there somewhere. There, let's get it like that. There we go. I love these little charm packs, but you get such an array of different fabrics. It's a really nice way without, I think sometimes I I buy lots of like fat quarters or larger pieces, and I've just got too much left, and I don't need all that amount of one type of fabric. So these little ones are great for little projects or English paper piecing. I really like them. So this is going to be a case for my Kindle, because I do have a Kindle case, but it's really old and I'd like a different design. So that is what I'm going to be making, and I'm working on that at the moment, and I'm hoping that will be finished. Well, it will be finished by next time I speak to you, and I will tell you how I make it, because I've got a bit of an idea about maybe joining them together to make a circle, and then I'm not sure, I've kind of got a different way of working, I think, but again, just going to be making up as I go along, so it could go wrong, but I will film a little bit and show you how I actually finish that off. But I've got to stitch them all together first of all. Two more things to show you. I have been busy, haven't I? This dreary weather has made me more creative than ever, I think. I have got the larger (5" The other ones are 2.5". These are 5". This is the Larking one, and these are the packs, and you get 42 squares in each. And so they are the same as the ones that I got from here, but the larger size. These are 2.5". I think these are about, I can't, they might be £12, they might be £15, I can't quite remember. But I'm not sponsored by Little Squares. No, this video is sponsored by Little Squares. Actually, talking about that, as a YouTuber, because I've got an email address, you get lots and lots of, not lots and lots, I'm not that popular, but you do get quite a lot of people reaching out to you, like companies reaching out to do sponsorships. And I've never ever recorded a sponsored video ever. I'm not saying I never will. It would have to be something I really loved to get over the stress of doing it, and the stress, I think I'd just feel like I was on QVC. I imagine as soon as I had to talk about it, I just couldn't talk, and it'd be awful. And then you have to record your thing about the item that you're promoting, and then send it to the company, and they have to agree. And then what if they send it and say, no, it's rubbish, then it's going to do it again? I don't know. I just feel like it's super stressful. And although, yes, the money would be very, very nice, I don't know whether I'd have to reach a new level of confidence. I have, because I started the channel 2.5 years ago to build my confidence. And I am quite confident about my sewing, and I'm confident making videos. Other areas, not so much, but this has helped in a lot of ways. But to actually do something like that, I'm not really sure. But I've had some random ones. One was like a massage thing, but you just put your hand in it. That sounded a bit, I wouldn't dare put my hand in it. It looked a bit creepy to me, so that wasn't very good. I'd be like, wouldn't be a very good promotion, would it? And one of those desk things, like a stand-up desk, but then I wouldn't really want that in the house or the van. A chair. Some like lots and lots of things. But yeah, I'm not sponsored by Small Squares. If Small Squares Moda wanted to sponsor me, perhaps I would, but I'm not really sure whether I would do that either. Like I said, I still think I'd feel like if anyone watches The Apprentice and they see the people, the one where they do the QVC and they have to sell something live on QVC, I think I'd be really bad like them. Suddenly I can't talk on camera anymore, I'm too nervous. Something I would like to do, actually, but I don't know whether I ever would, I'd be brave enough, is do like a live sewing thing. Like I'd be live, hello Lily, I'm live, and then you could watch me live and you could tap into the comments and we could be stitching together, but I couldn't see you. That would be a shame. But as you know, if you've commented, I've got an image of you in my mind, because if anyone comments, I kind of give them a whole personality by based on their comments and then their their name of their, you know, your name and everything, how it comes up. So that would be quite nice, but then I don't know what time you'd do it, because I know I think like 40% of my viewers are in England or UK, and I've got quite a lot in America, quite a lot in Australia, and a few in New Zealand, and Canada. So it'd be a few different areas, some in Spain, I think. So lots of different countries. I'm sorry if I've left any countries out that you watch in. If you watch in a completely different country, actually, not one I've mentioned, then maybe let me know, because I'll be interested. Because I know also, I'm really going on now, YouTube does an auto dubbing thing where my voice comes out in a different language, which is amazing. But then I talk really fast, and I must remember to slow down, because I think maybe with the auto dubbing, if I'm talking really fast, I don't know how it does it, how it changes my to a different language. It's kind of like clever, isn't it? And it's good that people who speak different languages can listen, but whether I make any sense or not, I don't know really. But yes, that would be interesting. I do find that kind of thing really, and I still can't believe that people watch from, because to me it's almost like you're watching from somewhere miles away and you're like here with me now. But I know you're not, you're over there, but I don't know, I can't quite it doesn't really sink into me. I find it like quite a bit magical really. I think it's quite just amazing. It's a positive thing of the internet, isn't it, that you can communicate with people miles and miles away, and it's just lovely about something that we've got in common, making things. Right, because I've been talking and flapping these around, I am now covered in little bits of square fabric all over me, and this is a fluffy jumper, so it's all stuck to me. Anyway, so I've got these, and I've got two others in different colours, which I've had for a while. I've had them so long I've gone off them. This sandalwood one, I've gone off this one now. I've had it so long I'm not sure I like the colours anymore. And I've got this parlour one, which I do still really like, which is beautiful and bright, and I do really like that. They are bitty, okay, so they do try and show you. I'm not very good at flapping fabric. Some people do it and it looks really good, but I can't really do that. You can sort of see the edge. Parlour by Crystal Manning, sandalwood bar, which is similar to some of the ones I'd used on my self-care quilt. I've got the little ones, so they are quite nice, but I don't know, I've kind of gone off a bit of that one and this one. Anyway, what I would really like to make is possibly another chip shop potato chip quilt. But what I'd really like to make, and what I've wanted to make for ages, is a rag quilt when it's frilly round the edges. So if you're a quilter, I'm sure you know what I mean. Basically, you just need two squares, so one on the front, one on the back. And so these are 5-inch, and then the wadding in the middle would be an inch less. So I'd cut out 4-inch squares of wadding, place it in the middle of each one, and then you'd stitch it all together. So if you've ever made a rag, it's called a rag quilt, you know, it's frilly around the edges and you stitch it. So one side it's got all like little frayed bits, and then the back is smooth and frilly around the outside. I'm not explaining this very well at all. So yes, if I make one and you don't know what I'm talking about now, it will be a surprise. So I love the idea of making one out of these. However, because I love them so much, I'm not sure that I might ruin these if it goes completely wrong. My machine doesn't like it, spits it all out. I don't know. Is it worth practicing with these ones that I'm not so keen on, so I could make one and see how it goes? But it's a good way to use up fabric, good way to use these, and it's a good way to use up your wadding, leftover bits of wadding, which sometimes are problematic because you've got like a really long thin bit or something. So yes, that is something quilty that I want to do, and I'm going to try and do it because I haven't ever made a whole quilt in the van. So the idea would be, Lily, make a whole quilt in the van. So that's something I will want to do when it's a bit warmer. Like, I'm okay today, but the trouble is in the UK the bright weather is such a short period, because it gets light at around 8 or something, 7:30, 8, and then it's getting dark again by 4. So you've got such a short day as well. So maybe more the early spring, or possibly on my week off if it's a really nice day. Or I mean, it's not, I can't see in here, but it's just a bit nicer on a brighter, warmer day. It's handy when Neil's here, because such as today, he can bring me a drink. I've hurt my back. I just twisted then. I was digging my lunch break at work, because I've got like an office job as well, whereas I'm mainly at home. And I had a half an hour lunch break, and I thought I need to get some exercise. I've been sitting on my desk all the time. So I thought, for my cut flower little garden I'm making, I thought, well, I'll fork it over. But we've got heavy clay soil and it's wet, so it's great to get the weeds out in this weather when it's all wet and murky. But then I twisted my back and I felt it. I thought, oh no, I've hurt my back. I should have just walked to the shop in my lunch break. But it is getting better. It was a couple of days ago and it is starting to get better. So I do not want to be kind of like, Neil's got a bad back as well. So we can't both have bad backs. And I'm going to drink this before it gets too cold. I've still got something else to show you. This is the longest video ever. I think it's almost like making one thing has led to another idea and then another idea, and they've kind of like a flow of ideas, maybe. And I think I've been making stuff. I've been really enjoying the things I've been making, I think. Not that I don't normally, but I've been enjoying them more than normal. So I think when I was doing a lot of English paper piecing, I think maybe that was a bit restrictive with just doing English paper piecing things. I did a lot of those. So maybe that's it. Anyway, I've got something. I haven't started this. This is an idea, but I'm going to show you my storage solution and the kind of what I'm going to be doing. So these gloves, I didn't knit them, my mum did. I was going to make something with the wool, but I didn't. My mum was really quick and I was impatient and I actually just wanted some gloves straight away. Anyway, these were all tiny little balls of wool, which I was kindly gifted as an advent. So they were little, maybe 5 gram balls, and there aren't many left. And I had an idea that I wanted to try, with yarn. So I said to my mum, how much have you got left? And this is what's left. So not much actually. She's got 2 pairs of gloves, I've got 2 pairs of gloves, and my daughter's got a pair of gloves. So she made 5 pairs of gloves, and this is what's left. So if you do have a little tiny advent calendar, you've got scraps, they're a really good thing. And she tried to put the glitter at the end, so they did turn out really nice. So I want to see if I can do, because I love yarn, I love hand-dyed yarn, but there's a squirrel over there. I'm sorry you can't see it though. They've cut a couple of trees down, so now I think the squirrels are a bit lost. Where do we go? Across the road. So my idea is I want to try some embroidery with, or stitching, slow stitching embroidery, whatever you want to call it, with yarn, because I love the hand-dyed yarn and it's a good use for it that doesn't. I do like crochet and knitting, but there's some glittery left. Perfect. So I'm not making much sense probably. I've got some driftwood from the beach. It took me ages to find the right kind of piece. I love these. These are nice and pale. Looks a bit like a little face at the end. So I've got that one and that one, which these are really nice. I made little things and hung them off them before, and they look really nice. But I'm going to be winding these round here, and I'm going to use them to store the wool. Let's do a little bit now. Make sure it works. It looks nice, doesn't it? So I think I can even use more than one for each. Well, so I'm going to have to use this. Actually, this is a lovely lilac colour, and this would look nice as a lavender or a bluebell. Bluebells come out. I've got lots of bluebells coming out in the garden, and this has got a little bit of glitter in as well. So this is gorgeous. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'll choose. I think, or maybe I'll mix it with this one. So I'll put these on here, and then I am going to. Here's another little. There's only a little bit left, but you don't need so much for sewing, do you? So I'll use a thick. That one back. So that's the idea. That's what my driftwood is, my little idea to wind them round, which I love. So you might want to borrow that idea if you've got any tapestry wool or anything that you want to wind round. And yeah, try and do some stitching with it. So I don't know whether to stitch some kind of flowers or just do some general stitching or do something like the Sashiko. But I think it'd be a different use for it. And if you like me, you like yarn, but you're not really into massively doing a lot of knitting or crocheting, because knitting's too slow for me, and it's not. I don't find it doesn't fill my. Because I don't want to say it's not creative enough, because it is creative, but it doesn't fill my creative jug. So say I've got a jug that's empty and I need to keep filling it up by the things I'm making. It doesn't do it enough. It doesn't fill it up enough. So that's strange. If anybody knows, if anyone's still here whilst I'm still going on, then that's amazing. And if you know what I'm talking about, that's amazing too. So that's an upcoming project. And because I got the driftwood recently, I wanted to show you what I was going to be using with it. But I think it looks really nice. Look how cool that looks, just wrapped on there. I mean, does that not you want to make something when you just see it all out lovely like that? So I love that. So you've really cheered me up letting me talk to you today. I'm So glad you're keeping me company. And the dreary weather doesn't seem quite so bad. The birds are singing again. When I keep editing my videos, I can't believe how much bird song is in the background. I can't normally hear it sometimes I do it when I'm talking to you, because I'm talking so fast still. I'm not doing a good job of slowing down, am I? So sorry if the auto-dubbed people are trying to watch and I don't make any sense. Or people not on the auto-dubbed, they still can't make any sense. But yeah, when I play it back to edit it, I can hear all the bird song that I don't realise that they're there. We have a couple of robins who are really friendly. We've got some wrens. We've got a lot of blue tits and great tits. We've got a magpie. We've got squirrels. We do get and sometimes we get the muntjac deers. Once we had one giving birth in our garden. What else? If anybody is going to the East Anglian Yarn Festival, which I know you won't if you live in a different country or anything, but I normally go on the Sunday and keep a bit of a low profile, but I am going to be going on the Saturday this year. I'm going to stay a bit longer and I'm going to go on the Saturday. So it's a lovely festival, and lots of hand-dyed yarn, and they do lots of other there's a few other like little bits and pieces that aren't yarny as well. There's lovely like wooden buttons and that kind of thing, and there's yarn holders. So it's a yarn festival, so it's quite yarny, but it's really, really nice. It's at Night Showground, and I think it's on the 21st of March, 21st, 22nd of March, mid-March anyway. So I'm going to be going on the Saturday this year, just in case anyone's going and you want to say hello, and then I'll be really embarrassed. Hello. Yeah, so I just thought I'd let you know that I'm going to be going. I've always gone on the Sunday early in the morning and kind of crept in and crept out again. But I thought, no, I'm going to go this year, and I'm going to go on the Saturday. I'll be a bit busier, but I'll be absolutely fine, because there's loads of spaces you can go. You can just sit and you can crochet or knit or probably sew on a little chair somewhere. There's loads of places. It's not a busy, cramped kind of place. There's lots of places where you can go and be away from the crowds if you want to. So if you wanted to, if you're kind of in the area, East Anglia area, and you wanted to go, then I would recommend it. The tickets are reasonably priced. We didn't go today, we didn't get that far up along the shoreline, but I really wanted to go to the big magical tree. If you've watched before and you've seen the lovely, it's a massive tree that's fallen down, and it's just on the shoreline, on the sand, and it's just, there's something magical about it. So it's my little wishing tree, and I really want to go back. I've been there for a while, and I said to Neil today, should we go? But it was we were looking for amber, and it was a bit too far, so we didn't go. But I really want to go next time, so I will show you that again soon, because I know a lot of you enjoyed seeing that. The roots, because the roots have all been, you can see the inside of the roots for a start, because it's just where it's fallen down, and the sea and the salt and the wind has made them really smooth, and they just look beautiful. So yeah, something really magical about it. So I will take you there again soon. Oh, as I mentioned earlier, if you could let me know where you're watching from, I would love that. You know, I found it really, really interesting, and I hope you've enjoyed watching and it hasn't been too chatty and waffly and all that kind of thing. And I will see you again next time. Take care now. Bye.